So, guys, as you can see in the title this morning, I have, are you really creating a salon career that you love? Are you really creating a salon career that you love? I have so many different points that I want to share and talk about on this morning. And one of the things I feel is that we have the ability to create a freedom-based business. And not only I feel, I'm living it. I'm working with salon owners and hairstylists who are doing just that. I'm going to share a little bit of that with you guys this morning to give you guys some examples. Maybe it will expand what you think about your business and what you think about what's that's actually possible for you. So I'm going to do a quick introduction, and then I'm going to get rocking and rolling. It's Monday. It's Hairstylist holiday. Many of you are off, and also we're running up on the 4th of July. So some of you may have opted to work today because you're going to be off on the 4th. I'm not sure. But as you come in the broadcast, be sure to say hello, show your girl a little love, and share the broadcast out. We're really in a freedom-based business, and you guys got to know that this thing is possible. I'm experiencing it myself, and my clients are every single day. So I'm Tanya Wilson-Cherry, a beauty business consultant and certified life coach. Give me 1 second. Let me do a quick, I think it may have, let me see, where did it share it to? You guys be patient with me this morning. I want to see something. Okay, it didn't. So give me a moment. For those of you who are on Instagram, hold tight. I'm going to share this out. So it's going to make a little noise in the background for just a moment as I share it. And then I should be able to get back on with Instagram, I hope. Yes, I can. Okay, great. Hey, Sharon, good morning. How are you, dear? I was actually sharing to another page from my other device. So my question for you guys, let me do a quick introduction really quick. I'm Tanya Wilson-Cherry, beauty business consultant and certified life coach. I have a 20+ year background in the most amazing industry, guys. We're really in an amazing industry, right? The most amazing industry on the planet. I could be a little biased with my 24 years in the industry and 10 years as a former salon owner. I help hairstylists and salon owners just like yourself to brand amazing businesses. And we're going to talk about that word amazing on this morning because, you know, sometimes when we hear the word amazing, we're always thinking that it's, you know, in lights and, you know, on the big screen and just doing like a whole lot of things. But I want to debunk that this morning and let you guys, give you guys some examples of what building an amazing salon career looks like. So I help hairstylists and salon owners to create amazing brands and lifestyles that they love. I help them overcome any limiting beliefs about what's possible for them because there is unlimited, guys. That's just not something that you hear. And once you begin operating in that space where you're like, you know, that was my goal and hey, I'm here, like it's actually working. This thing is actually working and flowing. It helps to increase your thinking as far as what's possible for you. And so I want to help do that this morning as well. Good morning on Facebook. Thank you for joining. As you guys are stopping in, say hello in the comments. Let me know who's on the broadcast and be sure to share it out. So you guys see in the title, are you really creating a salon career that you love? Oftentimes in our industry, there's this flow that kind of keeps us in like this box of, you know, what's possible for us and, you know, how we should rock this thing out. And so oftentimes I'm going to give you guys some examples of my clients who have stepped outside of the box, and they're really creating amazing brands. So first of all, when I say amazing, I want you guys to know that what's amazing for one person can be completely different for someone else, right? You got to get to the point where you realize that you can really create a brand that you love, right? And it's called branding your why, branding your why. So I have, first of all, I've been writing in a gratitude journal for a couple weeks now, every single day. And it's crazy because I heard Oprah talk about this some years ago, and I dabbled in it. I got a journal, I wrote in it a couple days, and then I put it down and I tried it again. But this time I've been consistent, right? I've been consistent. And that's one of the key things about, really seeing the benefits of what you're doing. It's found in consistency. Because when I was writing in my gratitude journal before, I wasn't consistent. So the results that I'm getting from it now are completely different, and they're simply based on my level of commitment. They're simply based on my level of commitment. So maybe you guys have something that you heard and you tried, or maybe you took a class or a course, and in your mind you said, okay, this doesn't work. But you always want to ask yourself, how consistent was I on really applying the strategy or the principle or whatever it was? So I'm sharing this with you guys because what I've been experiencing from writing in my gratitude journal now is amazing. And as I said before, it's because I've been consistent. So what has been transpiring is I'm finding myself just all throughout the day being really, really grateful for some seemingly small things. And before I started writing in my gratitude journal, I thought I was, a pretty grateful person. But I'm realizing now that being intentional about it, and I'm going somewhere, has created another level of gratitude. So this morning, like before I even got out of the bed, I was had moments of gratitude where, I was like thinking about things that I was grateful for. And my clients came to mind. So I started, envisioning some of my clients who had worked with me. And one client in particular recently has been posting vegetables and things from her garden, right? And that may not mean a whole lot to everybody, but it was on a Friday. This is a hairstylist, right? On a Friday, she was in her garden. She was at her home in her garden. So for me, I realized that she's getting to a point in her business where she has time for. And you guys will hear me mention the word freedom often because many of you, when you open your salon, whatever you're doing in your life, most of us ultimately want a measure of freedom. Whether we've been able to articulate that, whether we've truly thought about it, we're looking for time freedom, financial freedom. At the end of the day, that's probably a huge part of our why. So for this particular client, not only is she now home on a Friday working in her garden, but she's gone from we work on increasing the average ticket price, right? So that's every client that sits in your chair, your average ticket price would be an average of what each person pretty much pays. And so one of my goals for my clients is to get them around the $100 mark as an average of every person that sits in their chair. So maybe about 3 months ago, she was like $5.80 away from the average ticket price of $100 per customer. So she's around $93 and some odd change. But what has happened, and this is where the gratitude was coming in for me, because, I'm just grateful that I decided to transition and do what I'm doing now, because it's helping people to really create freedom-based businesses. And she still works behind the chair, but now she has the freedom on a Friday to do something that's valuable to her and that she loves. So another thing that occurred with her as we work together, one of the things I do is help my clients create strategies that allow them to multiply their efforts instead of, maybe attracting one client at a time. They may attract an amazing opportunity that causes their income to see like massive growth. So one of the things, this is the same, young lady that's worked with me, that has happened with her. A nonprofit organization reached out to this hairstylist, how are you, dear, to create an actual course that would allow her to teach the people that come to the nonprofit organization. Now, how we came to all of this, because first of all, I focus a lot on branding. So branding is you, right? Branding your business is you. So I help people get really clear on that. And one of the things I realized was what was really, really important to her in her heart just so happens to line up with this nonprofit organization. And this is why I talk about branding. Hey, Ashley, how are you, dear? From a whole new perspective than, we normally hear about it a lot online, because branding is who you are, right? And so many of us are attempting to build businesses before we build ourselves. We're attempting to build businesses before we fully understand who we are. And so we are creating these salon careers that we don't really love because they don't align with us at all. And so a lot of what I do in my mentoring programs is, really get to know my clients and help my clients to really get to know themselves, right? So that they can create a brand that really aligns with who they are. So this particular individual really loves, thank you, really has a heart for foster children, right? And wouldn't it just so happen, once she got really, really clear on her brand, a nonprofit organization reaches out to her to create a program that will allow her to teach etiquette to some of the foster kids. You guys don't hear me. So these are the things that I help my clients do. I help them create strategies within the community or even global where they actually multiply their efforts, where what they're doing fully aligns with a career that they actually love. So not only has her time freedom increased, she's able to be home, working in her garden on a Friday, right? She's able to take her daughter to school, pick her up, make her schedule the way it needs to be, and then also leverage her gifts behind the chair. So one of the things that I noticed with me a while back is, my ability to really see what's possible for people, right? I can see it like on an expanded vision when they start sharing with me more about who they are as a brand, because we're talking about branding, and then show them different ways to take those gifts and leverage them so that they're not always trading their dollars for hours. So this particular client, I was telling you guys about, gratitude and some of that I was grateful for this morning, and that I woke up like literally, I feel like I was almost still in the state of sleep as these things began coming to my mind, and just grateful for the changes that I'm seeing, with my clients who've worked with me. So this allows her to take her natural gifts and create a brand that she loves. She's not frustrated by it. It serves a higher purpose for her. She can spend more time with her family. Her income has increased. And then I have another client who, well, okay, so back to this. So the nonprofit organization, we've created a product for her that's going to give her unlimited possibilities as it relates to her income, because this organization is all around the world, right? And so I want to ask you guys, are you limiting yourself when it comes to what's possible for you in your career? And so many people are in a situation in their career where they feel stuck, or they feel limited. And a lot of times you really got to go deep into who you are and know that it's possible for you to create a brand that aligns fully with who you are. And this is what I help my clients do. So I have another client who in less than a year has doubled her income. She has 4 children, and now she's taking her children on vacations that are on the other side of the world from where she lives for a week. I mean, you guys know that if we aren't doing hair, oftentimes we aren't creating revenue. So she's able to do things and take vacations with her children. And also now she has been chosen to be on platforms for the industry that gives her brand another level of awareness and exposure. And it's all from understanding who she is as a brand and then understanding what's possible for her. So I want to ask you guys this morning, are you really creating a salon career that you love, or are you following this cookie cutter way that you've been told that it has to be done because it's unlimited? Once you really realize who you are as a brand and you align strategies with that, you open up new possibilities for you to leverage your gifts and what you're learning behind the chair. Hey, Natasha, how are you, dear? So I also, and this is when I was talking earlier about creating amazing brands, and I was saying that amazing is different for different people. So I've given you guys two examples of two different stylists. One is a little, one has different and a different idea of what's amazing, right? And the other one has her idea of what's amazing. So this is an example of another client. So I have another client who, she is a licensed cosmetologist in 2 states. She had not been doing hair for about 2.5 years. We worked together and created a strategy. She's a stay-at-home mom. This is why I say, when I say creating a brand that you love, you got to know what it is that you really desire, right? And then you have to remove some of the limitations that are keeping you from building and heading in that direction. Hey, Sarah, how are you, dear? So this young lady is a stay-at-home mom. She's a licensed stylist, licensed in 2 states. She hadn't been styling for years when she began working with me. And she didn't want to create this brand that was going to cause her to have to be all around the world, hosting events or anything of that nature. She really just wanted to bring about another $12,000 in addition to her husband's income, right? So amazing, Sarah, darling, is your desire, right? But it's got to be what you love and what your why is, and then you have to know that the possibilities are unlimited. So this particular young lady who came to me, she's like, I really just want to work one day, but I don't even know if that's possible. In 3 weeks, she had found a salon because her limiting beliefs, she was thinking no one is going to have a space that's available for me for one day. So we removed that limiting belief. She actually found several places to choose from that she could actually go and work at for one day. And then we created a strategy. Instead of her earning an additional $12,000 for her family, she would earn $24,000 for her family just working that one day per week. And so I want to know if you guys are limiting yourself because you feel it has to be done a specific way. There's always a strategy, there's always a way, and there are always possibilities if you're willing to get the strategies and align what you're doing with it. So what is your idea of amazing, right? What's your idea of amazing? And are you branding? Do you feel, or do you even understand that you have the ability to brand your business according to your why? Your why, like what's really, really important to you. The first client that I gave you guys an example of that I work with, I ask people like, what's important to you? Let's build a brand that allows you to connect with things that you really value. That way you're creating a brand that you love and you don't feel frustrated because you're going to work. You feel empowered, right? Because it actually aligns with something that you really love. Hey there on Facebook, how are you? Thank you for joining. And so this particular client, she only wanted to work one day a week. She wanted to add another $12,000 to her husband's income that would allow them more freedom, and she wanted to spend time at home with her children. But we created a strategy that would give her $24,000 with only working that one day a week. In 3 weeks, guys, in 3 weeks, she had secured her business license, found a salon, began working, and her first day she had 6 clients. And a lot of this happens because we remove the limiting beliefs. And this is what I do with my clients. I help them see larger spaces of possibility because many of us are creating these cookie cutter brands, because whether you're intentional about it or not, you are creating a brand. Organically, you brand your business whether you know it or not. And many people are creating these cookie cutter brands that they're frustrated with. They're not fulfilled by them at all. A friend of mine, and this is where vision comes into play with you creating a salon career that you love. So a friend of mine, and this was so powerful to me because we're really good friends, right? But she reached out to me for consulting services. And so you guys know, oftentimes when you have a friend, it's kind of hard for them to see themselves paying you, right? Because your friends know all your flaws, they know all your broken areas, and she knows all those things about me, but she also knows what I'm great at. And so the fact that she would reach out to me and look to me for coaching was amazing to me. Now, what she's talking about doing with me is my 1-day intensive. It's $1,900. So this is not a friend that, just goes out and blows $1,900. She's very particular about what she's doing. But the point in me saying that is what she wants me to work with her on, I mentioned it to her years ago. So I shared with you guys that if I'm in your presence long enough, or if I get an opportunity to hear more about who you are, I normally envision a greater span of your brand. I normally see you in a larger space. And so I'd already seen her in a larger space years ago, and I mentioned some things that she could do for her brand, but because she wasn't connected to that, she couldn't see the end goal at that time, it didn't click, it didn't register. So many of you are at a place where you won't move on some things that are necessary because you can't see how it's going to connect to later. And what I mean by that is, and this is the point that she and I made, how when we started out in the industry, we really care. And although we said we wanted more, we never had a strategy that would take us anywhere other than behind the chair. So we didn't see how we could leverage it, or if working the chair was going to be this never ending cycle. So how do I exit out of the chair, or what is this going to lead to? And so this is where many people get burned out in the industry, because they don't have clarity on where this can go, where it can expand, or how it can grow. They only see themselves working behind the chair. And when you can only see yourself in that space, and this is not a broadcast to encourage people to stop doing hair at all, right? But it is a way, hey Judy, how are you? For you to expand your vision, right? For you to expand your vision so that you can see that there's possibility beyond the chair. This is why so many people are burned out in our industry. They don't see, they can't see next. So I was sharing with you that my friend, I told her this years ago, but now she's ready because she can see the strategy that I shared with her. She can see where it's going to head. She sees a greater level of possibility. And so I just want to ask you guys, are you really creating a salon career you love, or are you limiting yourself with what's actually possible for you? If you're on with me and you're in a space where you're fulfilled with your career, put a 1 in the comments. If you're on with me and you're in a space in your career where you're uncertain, you're not even sure where it's going to head, you don't really see a way that it's going to expand or grow other than you trade in your time behind the chair, put a 2 in the comments. 1, if you're fulfilled, you're rocking and rolling. 2, if you're like, okay, I enjoy what I'm doing, but in my mind, I can't see where I'm able to expand. Put a 2 in the comments. And I ask that because this is what burns people out, is the fact that they don't have vision. And we normally don't have it only because we don't think it's possible. So I shared with you guys earlier, for those of you who are just joining, I gave you guys three examples of 3 clients who are creating amazing brands and lifestyles that they love. And they all vary in different ranges as to what their idea of what amazing is, right? And I also shared that many are attempting to build a business or a brand, or a brand, and they haven't built themselves yet. So one of the biggest things that I focus on when I'm mentoring is helping the person really, really understand who they are. For instance, I have another client who one of her strong points that she wasn't aware of is that she went from beauty school to booth rent to salon ownership without any financial struggle. So she left beauty school with a clientele, right? She worked for 4 years and then began creating a salon. She's been in her salon a little over a year now, and she hasn't had any financial struggle. And so what I let her know that was something very, very unique to that was something very unique about her. Most of us don't just leave beauty school and we got a full-on clientele. For me, when I was in beauty school, I actually had a salon to come and ask me to work for them. So I had clients, but it was clients that the salon had, right? Not because I went out and built this clientele. And one of the things she said, and it was so amazing because I've been working with her for years. Like before I started consulting online, I had I would have a few classes in my salon. And so she would come, but I didn't know that she was in beauty school, right? She was coming to me in beauty school and fresh out of beauty school, getting the foundation for what she needed. And she followed it to a T. And so what's really unique for her, if she wants to leverage her brand and do something different, what's unique, she could go and teach people her unique thing. You guys get that? You guys get that? So while you're on, I want you guys to know that first I want you guys to ask yourselves, am I limiting myself with what I feel is possible? Right? Because we only build from the space that we believe. We only build from the space that we believe. And to help you with your belief, I gave you guys some examples of some clients that I'm actually working with who've doubled their income. They're in their six-figure range in less than a year. In less than a year, right? They're taking their families on vacation, right? They've changed. Hey, Dupree, how are you, dear? They've changed the trajectory of what was going on in their career because they believe differently. Right? And so for those of you, I saw several twos inside the comments, meaning that you're at a place where you're not sure how you're going to exit out. So one of the goals that I have, and I'm not going to say the number of people that I desire to help just yet, but I have a specific number of hairstylists and salon owners that I would like to help reach six figures. Right? It's a personal goal of mine that I really decided on at the beginning of this year. And I don't say six figures because, it's that number that everybody is saying. I say six figures because I understand when people reach that point in their business, their life shifts and changes. It allows them more opportunities. Sometimes it saves marriages. Sometimes it creates opportunities for the children that weren't available before. Not that they're limited to just the six figures, but I have a goal to help a certain number of hairstylists and salon owners get to their six-figure mark, because this is what I've noticed. And I've helped several. I haven't fully counted like off of my head, but this year alone, there's probably 5 that I've helped to reach that six-figure mark. And I said I was going to go back and connect with some clients that I've been working with over the years to see where they're at after using those strategies. But I say six figures because I notice people's lives change at that point. They pay their bills with ease, considering that some other stuff is in place, like, they have a budget, they understand their money, and if they work with me long enough, they get that information as well. But I said six figures because it starts to shift and change things. So many of my clients are investors. They invest and invest and invest, not just with me, but different areas that they need in their business. For instance, one young lady that worked with me, when she came to me 2 years ago, she was saying that, money was just an issue, right? Hey there, how are you, PDC Beauty? Thank you for joining. One of her issues was finances. So one of the first things we did was we found out where she had excess money. Because most of the time, guys, we have money coming in. It's just what we're doing with it. And if we can get a handle on that, it helps us to create the money to invest to get more money, right? So we figured out, and she had about $600 a month income that was going to stuff that didn't even matter. It had nothing to do with building her business. This same young lady now, and she's young, guys, she's in her 20s. She now has a financial advisor. So when I tell you guys that I'm in a space of gratitude, those are the things that I'm grateful for. That type of impact, when you're able to help people create strategies and they follow through and they make those type of changes in their lives, and their families are changing, the quality of their life is changing, they're able to do more in their life. It's amazing. It's something, it's a feeling that, you know, I cannot explain. Let me see. Ashley says, I absolutely love doing hair. Sometimes I feel like I doubt myself. I'm great at what I do. I must train my mind to step out on faith and stop worrying about the what ifs. If I don't step out, one second. If I don't step out and trust the process, you'll never know. I'll never know my full potential. I'm tired of living in fear. I've been licensed since 2013, and I've worked at Smart Style and little places of that nature just to get a check. Being a stylist is my passion, and I'm ready to get in a full salon setting and see where my career will go. We only build based on our beliefs. We only build based on our beliefs. Judy says, I love what you do, but I need multiple streams of, I love what I do, but I need multiple streams of income from the salon. Absolutely. And this is what I help my clients to do. I help them to leverage. And see, this is why I say we're building brands, and we haven't built ourselves. And so a lot of what happens in my mentorship and branding bootcamp is my clients gain clarity on who they are, and then they're able to create a brand and leverage it. So many of my clients have multiple streams of income. They've created products, they've created like skincare or hair care products, they've created products from their gifts. I share with those that were on, I have one particular client who a nonprofit organization has reached out to her where we've created a course that's turned into something, you know, way bigger than what it initially was for her, because she understands now who she is as a brand, and she's able to take on opportunities that align with who she is. And so what happens is not that people aren't jumping at opportunities or doing different things in their business, but they're doing things that don't align with them. So they get burned out from those opportunities, or they get frustrated from them because it doesn't align with who they are as a brand. It doesn't align with their why. I share with you guys that my clients are home on Fridays working in their garden now because we got clear, like, really, what's your why? What do you really desire? Now let's create a strategy around that. And your desires even come in with how many hours you want to be behind the chair, how many days a week you want to be behind the chair. Once I know those things, and once I know what's important to you, I can then give you strategies that align with that so that you can make it possible. So I shared with you guys earlier that, you know, I have clients who have hit more than the six-figure mark as well. But I know when people go from 50 to 6K, to 6 figures, their life changes drastically, right? And then they're able to invest on another level. So most of my clients invest over and over and over again, which is one of the things that I think lacks a lot in our industry, the mindset to invest. I think a lot of times we go and we invest in a lot of small things that don't really align with who we are as a brand. So we're unfulfilled, and we're taking a lot of classes and courses that they just don't get us where we need to be, right? And so I think learning how to invest is huge for many salon owners, because many, and hairstylists, because many are investing in things that they really don't align with who they are, or it's out of season. The timing is off. And so when I'm able to look at my client's brand and where they are, I can make suggestions. Okay, in this season, this is where you need to invest. So I have some clients who I saw that they were gifted with color. So all they've been doing for a year is taking another level of color, another level of color. And once you become an expert, then you can really charge your value, and you begin to attract people that already understand, right, that you're qualified for what it is that you're asking. So a lot of times I see people making investments that are unnecessary. Let me give you guys an example. So every now and then I go to the Dollar Tree and pick up little things, right? So I went to get some earbuds one day, and as soon as I got them, they fell apart. As soon as I got them, they fell apart. So this is all mindset, right? Because sometimes if it's inexpensive, right? Well, let me get that because it doesn't cost a whole lot. But if you got to keep buying it over and over again, eventually you've spent the same amount that you would spend on something of value that's actually going to get you what you need. And so I see that same concept with people who invest in the salon industry, in things for their business. They invest on low levels, and they're constantly having to get things over and over and over again. Or like they may have an area in their business that they need more information on, but they'll go and get another hairstyling class. Y'all don't hear me. Somebody tap the screen. Y'all share. This one is good. Are you really creating a salon career that you love? And those of you who are newer, this is a perfect time. Remember, I shared with you guys, I have a client. She's not even 27 years old, guys, right? She has a financial advisor since she's been working with me, right? And the first thing she came to me about, it was about growing her clientele, but because I had an opportunity to, do an assessment of her business, I saw areas where she could save money. She began saving about $600 a month, right? Which allowed her to invest in different things that she needed. So we look at her brand and we look at where it is she wants to go. And then I say, okay, this is the strategy. This is what you need to invest on next. And now it creates another level of income. So what would doubling your income, how valuable is that to you? This is why I say, I don't think we have the right mindset when it comes to investing, because you have to think about what the investment is going to allow you to do later, right? I'm telling you, people are doubling their income in less than a year. What difference would that make for you? So I have a course that's $9.97. It's not even going to be that investment cost next year. It's going to be more because I understand the value. I'm constantly adding more value to that particular opportunity, right? But what would, if you made $30,000 a year and you invested $1,000 on your business and you increased to $60,000, what's $1,000 on a profit of $30,000? Or if you made $50,000 a year and you increased to $100,000, what is $1,000 investment to make 50 more, right? So this is why I say I don't think we understand investing the way that we should. And I remember reading, years ago, I really started studying wealthy people and the mindset and habits of wealthy people. And I gave you guys the example of me stopping to the Dollar Tree to get those earbuds. And as soon as I got them, literally, they broke, guys. So I still had to go and get a better pair of earbuds. And a lot of times we feel, well, I'll just get, this low cost thing over here. Now, I do agree that there are some valuable things that you can get at not so expensive rates, right? Y'all tap the screen. There are some valuable things that you can get at not so expensive rates. But oftentimes we look for low level opportunities. Y'all don't hear me. Let me read this comment. Out of season, I have the need for a coach and training. I paid out for information and direction when I truly needed your program. I cannot cry about it, but the financial recovery. Out of season, I had or have the need for coach and training. I paid out for information and direction when I truly needed your program. So PDCV Beauty, I'm not exactly sure because of your handle. I'm sure you may have followed me before if you knew that you possibly needed my program. But it's available, right? Too poor to be cheap is what PDCB said. And guys, I mean, I recognized it for myself too. Like when I was um, early in my career in the salon, I had a lady to ask me, what I was worth. And I thought she was talking about like how did I value myself. I used to get fly. I had a personal shopper at Gucci, that stuff, right? So I'm like, she said, do you know your worth? I'm like, yeah, I know my worth. But what she was really talking about, guys, was when I subtracted everything I owed from what I had. And at that time, I probably only had $1,000 to my name, which was less than what I made the week before. And so that began this series, this journey of people coming to me, talking about my money to me. It's like God was sending these angels to bring this awareness to me about, my money. And so I began, studying. I created a budget and I saved enough to open my salon debt free, paid off my debt, opened my salon debt free within 2 years. So I'm sharing that because during that time, also my mindset was on understanding, money a little differently. And one of the studies that I read, and I think I may have shared a broadcast about it, was the habits of poor people and wealthy people. And we buy differently. Era and timing for investing my money and time. Gotcha. Gotcha, dear. What's your name instead of PDCV Beauty? Maybe I'll recognize your real name. Put your real name in the comments if you don't mind, so that I can really know who I'm speaking with. So one of the things they said was a lot of times when we are operating in lack or poverty mindset, we'll buy a whole lot of little cheap items. Y'all don't hear me. Somebody tap the screen and somebody share it out, right? There are more industry professionals. Those of you who are registering with me, who are on the broadcast, it's more people than just you, I promise you, who, like, you'll see something on sale and you'll get 5 of them in every color. Y'all know what I'm saying, right? Andrea. You'll see 5 of them. You get 5 of them in every color when ultimately you still spent, right? You still spent the same amount of money by the time you buy 5 or 10 of them, right? And so a lot of times, when we have our wealth mindset on, we buy for value. We look at the value of what it is that we're purchasing. So when I say, are you really creating a salon career that you love, a lot of times it's our thinking, right? We're limiting ourselves. Say, I need to make an investment so that I can have increase, right? The type of increase that I desire, not just, small hit or miss things that really aren't helping me create the business and lifestyle I see. And it's nothing, guys, when I tell you I've been to so many hair shows, right? Premiere is my favorite one. I've actually, awesome, gotcha, dear, gotcha now. I've actually created, no, I've actually been going to Premiere forever, long time, right? It's my favorite show. But I used to frequent the Bronner Brothers show. Like, so I've been to tons and tons and tons of shows. But when I go now, my focus is completely different. And sometimes I see people go and travel, plane tickets or rental car, hotel to go to shows and come back and still struggle in their business, right? Because oftentimes they are in almost like a sea of confusion at the shows. It's a lot to learn, it's a lot to take in, but it's nothing centralized for what they need. So some people are working on the branding part of their business, where it's logos and websites and things like that, when they really should be figuring out what the profit producing things are so they can create more money and then start working on some of the fancy stuff. So sometimes we're just out of season with what we're actually investing in. I was thinking about another client of mine. I gave you guys some amazing stories, so I'll give you one that's not so amazing. But this client is not in the salon industry, but I again, I created a strategy for them. It's been 3 years ago now. This is when I very first considering working online, and I wasn't sure who I was going to make my target audience. So unfortunately, stylists, I wasn't even sure if you guys were going to be my main focus, because before I came online, I was doing things for the Chamber of Commerce and different organizations and hairstylists. So I was, getting contracted. I want to grow IG. Hey, dear, how are you? I was getting contacted from so many different organizations. But what I had to remember was I was a hairstylist first, and then I branched out in the local community. So when I came online, I was a little confused about who I would start to build my brand with. So I'm working with this particular person. I gave them a strategy that it's like they refuse to do it. They refuse to do the system. Now they could be way past their 6-figure mark, but instead they're hustling. They're hustling in their business, right? And this is what hustling looks like. Hustling looks like I'm going to do a sale because my bill is due, right? I'm going to make this price based on what I got to take care of this week. It's more of, and many of us go through like that seed stage in our business where, we just need butts and seats. Like when we first start out, we don't care. We just need a client, right? We need someone we can play with now. But there's got to be a time, and the quicker you do it, the better, that you shift from, hustling to actually having strategies that are going to build your business long term, right? That are going to build a business that you can evolve and grow into, instead of, 10 years in and it's the same thing. It's the same thing. And you will have to invest, guys. You'll have to invest. Long list of things needed, but our list may need to be prioritized or reprioritized. Yeah. And I think, what I see with a lot of salon owners is, they'll, instead of figuring out how to run the business, they'll go, well, maybe if I just, figure out how to do more hair. And it's never the answer. It's never the answer for the salon owner who originally opened her business so that she could create more freedom. So I talk to you guys a lot about freedom, because ultimately, if you really sit down and think about what it is that you desire freedom. You desire freedom. And freedom doesn't necessarily mean that you don't work. Freedom could mean you work doing something you absolutely love. Freedom could mean that you aren't doing it 7 days a week or 10 to 12 hours, but more so where you're able to spend time with family or do self-care or travel. And, that could even be freedom. So when I say, are you really creating a salon career that you love? Ask yourself those things. Like, is what I'm doing now really building what I desire? For those of you, many of you put a 2 in the comments. I invite you to give yourself permission to really grow your business and to invest in yourselves. Join me for my 3D Success Mentorship and Branding Bootcamp. If you're looking for a measure of freedom, one of the things that branding properly does is it helps you to see quantum leaps in your business. And quantum leaps is when your business just kind of grows several levels, where you're removed from that seed stage where you're actually leveraging the chair. Because many of us have things that we're good at, but is it really making money? Is it really creating revenue? Or are we just busy in the motions of that thing? Are we just busy in the motion of that thing? So I invite you guys, hairstylists, salon owners, salon suite owners, regardless of whether you are newer in the industry or you've been in the industry a long time and you're like, look, I need to know how to leverage this thing. I don't want to take all of these years of experience and feel like it's just washed down the drain. Or I already see that I could kind of go into a decline if I don't get the right answers. I invite you to join us. We begin on July the 9th. It's a 12-week transformational course where I go really deep into branding and mentoring you so that, one, to help you move out of the space of procrastination. Procrastination often comes with our beliefs, like what we really believe is possible. And mentorship for me, because I've had a mentor for over 22 years, has been a space where someone else can see my greatness. Someone else can see my greatness that sometimes I don't see because I'm operating in it all the time, right? And so that's what I'm able to do for you in a mentoring atmosphere. But we do marketing. You have an opportunity to connect with other experts. I have a trichologist that does a session. Miss Rhonda Moffat has a look and learn session on hair cutting. My mentor has a segment on discovery. We talk about branding. We go over your vision, where we do like this alignment circle to make sure that different areas of your life, not just your business, right, are really aligned with what it is that you really desire. And then we create a strategy for you to walk out over the next 12 months so that you can see quantum leaps and massive growth in your career. That link is renewfullcircle.com/3D success. renewfullcircle.com/3D success. The investment is $9.97 as a one-time fee. I also have 2 payment arrangements. I saw someone saying that they needed to, that maybe money was a slight issue for them. I do have 2 payment arrangements. One is $283 would save your seat, and immediately if you sign today, you would get my Get Your Money, Get Your Life course, which helps you to create a budget, see where your money is, how you need to plan, and also you get the Look and Learn course from Ms. Rhonda. So those are the bonus courses that you get immediately as you sign up today, but it would be $283 to save your seat and 3 recurring payments monthly. Let's do some math on this, right? So $283, it's 4 weeks in a month, right? 4 into 28 is about $70 a week. If your average ticket price is even $35, which, remember I said I like to get my clients to $100, that's only 2 clients. That's only 2 clients per week, right? It's renewfullcircle.com. Let me see if I can type that in the comments for you. Okay, that should be it in the comments. I also have a payment arrangement where you pay $157, like you would pay $157 today, and then in 2 weeks you pay $78 weekly, right? $78 weekly. And so again, get 2 clients. That would cover, or 1 client. If you're at $65 to $70, that's 1 client, right? Would pay for you to get the investment, to get the money to invest in your business so that you can really grow, right? So that you can really create a salon career that you love. You're not limited to this cookie cutter way. And the great thing about social media is we're inspired by a lot of people. We're inspired by a lot of people. But the downfall of social media is if you don't understand who you are as a brand, oftentimes you're picking so much of everybody's stuff up, right? $73.45. I can't even remember. Is that your average ticket price, or that might be what the payment is? Because I don't know exactly what that weekly payment is, but you guys can go to the link. I might be off $3 to $5 for the weekly amount. But a lot of times we're picking things up that they don't align with who we are as a brand, right? And so what we're building is not even us. It's not even our thing. And that makes it difficult to maintain, one, because it's not who we are as a brand. It makes it difficult to attract your perfect people, the right clients, because you're doing so much of everybody's stuff that you're inspired from. But once you understand who you are as a brand, and you've had an opportunity to be mentored and for someone to really see your gifts and to help you leverage it, you'll know what to invest in next, right? You'll know how to attract your perfect people so you're creating more revenue so you can invest more and grow more and then you have an end goal in mind, right? You have an end goal, weekly payment. Okay, yeah. Yeah. And then you have an end goal in mind. Andrea said it's 73.45 weekly. So that must be what's on my site, because I couldn't remember exactly what that weekly payment was. But break it down. Think about it. Like, I need to invest differently. If you've been investing a little bit here, there, and it's not working, then you got to know, you got to find something that's going to align with what it is that you truly need at the stage that you're at in your career. So I had a student to take my boot camp before she even started. She is now with Paul Mitchell School. I've had people who are now, into their multiple six figures who've taken the course. I've had salon owners who've been salon owners for years. I've had salon suite owners who've been doing it 7 years. And one of the reasons why there's a varied range is because I attract my perfect people, right? They're attracted to what it is that I'm teaching, and all of them know they want freedom. Ultimately, they want freedom. But they can all be at different levels because it's mentoring, right? It's mentoring them from their unique space and helping them understand their greatness, and then giving them strategies that help them to, monopolize those efforts. So guys, are you really creating a salon career that you love? I see so many people get stuck behind the chair for years and years, and they're not creating what they love, right? And then, they get burned out. But now, when you're creating what you love, it doesn't mean that you don't have challenges while you're building, but they don't feel like challenges because what you're doing has purpose. When you know that what you're doing has purpose, when you know that what you're doing has this end goal, you know that you can measure it, right? Because I give you strategies that you can actually measure. I teach you how to measure them so you can see your progress, and you can tweak and shift if you need to. But when you know you have an end goal that's connected to this strategy that you're doing, it changes how it feels, right? But it's challenging when you're just trying. It's challenging to the point where you feel burned out when you're just nitpicking at it, right? Because there's a place where we kind of chase it, or we're in a flow, right? We're in a flow. And so my clients they're in a flow. I told you, at home on a Friday, working in the garden, right? Working in the garden, still creating income, has increased her average ticket price so greatly that she now has time freedom on a different level. And many of you may have time freedom, but if there's no money with that time freedom, then there's frustration, right? So many of you may have free time, but if it's still uncomfortable, hey, Tanya, dear, how are you? Many may have free time, but if it's still uncomfortable while you have the free time, is it really creating a salon career, that you love, right? And so I just believe that branding is a lot bigger than logos and websites and things of that nature. I think those things are really, really important. But one of the areas that I dominate in, or my gifting is helping people get really, really clear, hey, darling, on who they are. Because once you build you can build your brand. Y'all don't hear me. Once you build you can then build an amazing brand that aligns with it. And it begins to flow. It doesn't feel like this chase, right? There's a flow to it, right? And so many of us are attempting to build brands and businesses before we build ourselves. Before we build ourselves. And it's always harder. It's always harder to do it that way. And so there is going to come a time and point in everybody's career where you're like, okay, wait a minute. What I'm doing now does not align with where it is that I decide that I really want to go. Instagram is going out in 29 seconds. You can catch me on my Facebook business page. I think that's where burnout really comes. And what happens, what I've noticed, with my clients, I was telling you guys, get a gratitude journal too, guys. Get a gratitude journal, because a lot of times when we have a vision that's bigger than where we are, your vision is normally bigger than where you are. All of us have a vision bigger than where we are. But when you're operating in a space of gratitude, you're more mindful of all the little things. For instance, I saw Tanya post the other day that she was getting her, I think, her lashes and something else done, and there was a young lady who was rushing. And so Tanya let her in front of her, and the lady ended up paying for her service, right? And so when you're in a space of gratitude, you really notice all of the small things that are occurring, and that keeps you from thinking about lack, right? I share with you guys, I heard Oprah say do a gratitude journal years ago, and I dibbled and dabbled in it a little bit, and then I put it down and I picked it up again. But this time I've been consistent, and I've noticed that it's changed my energy. It's changed my energy. So many things that I'm grateful for. And I thought I was a pretty grateful person prior. But remember, I shared with you guys at the beginning of the video that the difference now, because I did it before, I did a gratitude journal before, is that I've been consistent. I've been consistent. So many of you are looking for results with no consistency, right? Many times we're looking for these things to happen, but we just simply haven't been consistent long enough. Hey, Tamika, how are you, dear? We haven't been consistent long enough. So because I've been consistent on a different level this time, I'm like, oh, that gratitude thing does work. Because I told you guys, I woke up this morning with my clients on gratefulness for what's transpiring in the lives of my clients, right? And when we operate from a space of gratitude, it creates an energy and a momentum to keep going, right? Because I'm like, man, it's some amazing stuff going on in my clients' lives. And that puts a fire on the inside of me to want to do and serve even more. You guys get that? So this gratitude thing is just super amazing. Gratitude journal. Yep. So my daughter and I, one, we created new vision boards, and then in the process, when we were picking up the stuff for the vision boards, we picked up new journals, and we write. Well, she hasn't been here for a week, so she's been a little slack, but we write in our journal every night 5 things that we're grateful for from, that happened during that day. So this has been going on for weeks now. And what happens, because we say we're grateful and we'll pray and we'll tell God things we're grateful for, but when you're writing them down and you really got to intentionally sit and think about it, you realize that a lot of things are actually working for you, right? It relieves some of the anxiety sometimes that you may have about what you got going on and how you're building your business and all that other stuff, right? But not only that, this is huge, guys. This is huge. Because whatever you focus on, you attract. Y'all don't hear me. Whatever you focus on, you attract. So a gratitude journal helps you to focus on increase and all the great things that are happening, no matter how small, right? And so you now position yourself to attract more of those things. Because otherwise, we can focus on what's not working, areas of lack, areas of frustration. And so then we create this atmosphere that brings that same stuff right back to us. But you guys know, when you start to focus on what it is, when you make a decision, when you decide, it's something powerful about decisions. Something powerful about decisions, guys. And so many of you are straddling the fence on decisions that you know you need to make. And as long as you straddle that decision, as long as the decision is here and there, that's what you're attracting. This, up and down, in and out, in and out. But when you really make up your whole mind, when there is no plan B, when you've decided that this is what I'm going to do, this is what I need, and I'm going to make it happen, it happens. You make it happen. You make it happen. Right? I don't know how many of you have ever been in a space where you didn't have everything that you needed, but you made up your mind that you were going to do that thing, Y'all don't hear me. And everything that you needed, it was supplied. You may have had to do a little more to make it happen. I have an ebook. I have several books, right? That they're like, if you don't hurry up and finish me, right? Make me whole. You making yourself whole. Make me whole. I want to be complete. That's what the books are saying. So one in particular, I was sharing about how, and it's like a planning book, whatever. And I was sharing how I had this thing that I had created last year, and I was struggling to enroll people into it. It's not something that I put a link for, on my lives or anything. It's only by invitation or someone who's come highly referred. But I was hesitating on enrolling people because I didn't think people would invest in themselves on that level. That's what I was telling myself. I was telling myself people wouldn't invest on that level in themselves. But what it really was, guys, for me to even operate that program would require me to operate at a whole nother level, right? And it would require me to invest another level of my time. And I thought about it and I was like, man, that's what was really holding me back. And the moment that I made a decision, just in conversation 2 days later with a client, I signed my first person and then the next one and then the next one. And I'll just say that it's several times over the 3D Success Mentorship and Branding Bootcamp. I'm just going to share that, right? But a lot of times, one of the reasons we don't move on things is because it requires more of us. Yeah, because it requires more time of us, or we're going to have to operate at a different level. But that's what next level requires, right? So oftentimes when we take on things that we aren't fully capable of doing, right? Well, you're capable, but you just haven't been operating like that because you have what you need on the inside of you. You just have to align with it. You just got to get to the space where you say, okay, I'm doing this. I'm doing it now. I made up my mind. It starts now, right? What it's going to require for you to make that happen, it increases who you are becoming, which is what's required for next level. Next level doesn't want the same version of you now. Y'all don't hear me. Next level does not want the same version of you now. It wants a higher version of you so that you can fully operate at that space, right? So I was talking about investing earlier. That's what investing, when I had to invest on a bigger level, it's like, whoa, right? But what it made me do, this is what it made me do. It made me say, okay, what is it that you need to do to make this happen? What is it you need to do to make this happen? And so a lot of times we're not aligning what ourselves with what we say we desire. And if you notice, when you do that, when you agree to operate at the highest version of yourself, it creates this new version of you. And after a while, you simply operate like that. And now you've up-leveled your value. And what do people pay for? Somebody put it in the comments. What do people pay for? Somebody that's worked with me ought to be able to put that one in the comments. People pay for what? People pay for what? I'm not going to give y'all that one. Even if somebody on the replay has to come back in and put that in, I'm just going to leave that one. But when you operate at a higher level, you increase your value. You increase your value and people pay for. So I ask you guys, are you really creating a salon career that you love? And how long is too long to operate the way that it's operating now, right? Do you really even feel next level is possible for you? Because it is. So for those of you who just joined, I gave some examples of some of my clients who were on my mind, who I was just grateful for, just seeing what's transpiring in their lives and the new possibilities. I was just grateful. Like, it really it's humbling. It's an humbling experience, but it motivates me. And so that's what I was sharing with you guys, that we should operate in another's gratitude. And gratitude also increases your faith, right? Because you're more aware of things that are actually working. Like, you know what? It's not working like I wanted to, but I'm grateful for this, right? It shifts your focus from the lack and what's not happening to what is happening. And once you can focus on what is happening, you can also look for solutions that are going to allow it to happen on a greater level. So I thank you guys for joining me. If you guys got something out of the broadcast today, tap the screen for hearts. Show your girl a little love. For those of you who are joining me for 3D Success Mentorship and Branding Bootcamp, go ahead, make the decision, sign up, do what's necessary, give yourself permission to invest on yourself for your next level. RenewFullCircle.com/3D Success. RenewFullCircle.com/3D Success. We begin on July the 9th. Immediately when you sign up today, you get 2 bonus courses. The investment is $9.97 as a one-time investment, or I have 2 payment options. $283 would save your seat, and you pay 3 reoccurring payments of $283 per month. If you think about $283, 4 weeks into $283 is about $70-some a week. How many clients would that be for you per week to produce that? And then I have another payment option where you pay $157 today, and you don't pay anything for 2 weeks, and then you begin paying recurring fees of $78 a week until you've completed the value of the course. So I invite you guys to join us. Let's get clear on who you are as a brand so that you really can create a brand that you love, not one that you're frustrated by. How much longer do you really want to operate? I saw a lot of twos. I asked the question earlier. You guys can go back and hear that. I saw a lot of twos, right? How much longer do you want to operate like that? So anyway, guys, I value mentorship and branding on an amazing level. My clients are really doing amazing things and creating amazing brands, and amazing is based on what you desire for your career. And ask yourself, am I really doing that? Am I creating that? So I appreciate you guys. I hope you got something from the message. I love you guys. I'll see you again on Wednesday, same time, same place, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.